give commands so you can just tell me exactly where you are.
les Scandiens du gouvernement pour nous dire.
I told them exactly where we are.
718. This is live footage from inside the kibbutz. That's gunfire inside the kibbutz. Over 50 terrorists break through the fence. You'll see the fence, the wall, the cement wall. And well, they break through the fence, and over 20 of them make it into the kibbutz. Right on the other side of the wall, you'll see something. This was truly remarkable. Walking through here, here is the. This is the wall around the kibbutz. This is how they have to live. Okay.
But they didn't hear. You hear?
This, you see, the wall makes a turn. That's Egypt. That's Gaza. They are literally on the corner. And here's the look. What you're looking through here.
You see how
You see how close the fence is?
broken there?
That's the fence. That's Gaza.
Stick your
You
head.
see this? There it is. Fence, street,
To the right.
the kibbutz.
The other right.
If you Google this, if you Google Kerem Shalom, you will see videos of the terrorists breaking through the fence, driving through the fence. He's shown us videos, and we don't, in a matter of time, I'd rather show you something else about this. But they break through, and then they explode munitions on the wall and break through the wall. Right on the other side of the wall is this house. This is the Schindler house. The family, Amichai Schindler and his wife, Avital, live in this house. Look at what this house looks like. They're inside the house. The family's inside the house. When they hear noises, they're sleeping. They hear noises outside. And they think it's just neighbors until they hear that the noise, the language they're speaking is Arabic. Immediately, Amichai tells the family to run into the safe house, into the safe room. This is what the house looked like. They made it, the terrorists break into the house, in the house.
Family, the home before these barbarians came in, and this is how it looks now.
You see the amount of bullet holes? This, look at this. Take a look. You see this? This is the door into the safe room. It runs everybody into the safe room. This Amichai tells us it brings his whole family into this room. This is inside the safe room. It is a tiny room. Now, here's what you have to understand of a safe room. A safe room is not a safe room from terrorists. A safe room is a safe room from rockets. For that reason, because a house can be caught on fire, you're not allowed to have a lock on the door of the safe of the mamad, because they need to be able to get in and get you out. But what happens if it's a terrorist on the other side and you can't lock the door? So Amichai has his whole family. His family is tucked in the corner, right over there, roughly where Michael is. That's how big the room is. That's end to end. This is the room. And this father, Amichai Weizen, is holding the door shut, and terrorists are schlepping on the other side of the door. It's a tug of war on the door for survival. And every once in a while, when they open the door wide enough, they stick in their gun and they start shooting. And he pushes the gun out and closes the door. And this is what's going on for a long time, this tug of war for life. In the end, the terrorists get fed up, and what they do is they place a charge, an explosive, on the door, and then back away into the living room. When they're in the living room, there's a big picture window, and the security from the kibbutz, we heard the name, Amichai Weizen, same first name, Amichai Weizen, and Yedidya come, and they see the terrorists, and they start engaging with the terrorists. And unfortunately, Amichai gets a bullet through his neck, and he drops there, and he eventually passes. But thank God that they are engaging the terrace. Because, little kids, put your fingers in your ears, please. The explosive goes off. The door gets blown off the hinges. Amichai goes flying across the room. He now no longer has a left hand, and most of the fingers of his right hand are off, and he is stunned lying against the back wall of the room. His wife and children are in that room. And his wife turns to their children and says, "Don't look at Abba. Don't look at Abba. Just pray for him. Pray for Abba." And she starts saying chapters of Psalms for him. This is happening. Okay? This happened. In the meantime, the terrorists are being engaged by the few security forces. There is a total of 8 people defending this kibbutz. 4 local security and 4 soldiers, borrowed soldiers. Finally, they get a helicopter to fly over. There's a big solar farm. And it says, when the pilot says, it was like when they would drop a rocket, it was like clearing out rats. Because they drop a rocket and all of a sudden a whole bunch of terrorists would scurry out from under cover and was trying to pick them. This was what was happening. What is the end of the story? The end of the story is 2 of the security and 2 of the soldiers, and then 2 more of the reinforcements when they came. Those were the only casualties in Kerem Shalom. Everybody, including the entire Weizen family, Schindler family, survives, including Amichai, who is recovering at Tel HaShomer. This is the house. They haven't been back yet. That's Amichai Weizen and Yedidia. Amichai Weizen and Yedidia. 2 members of the kibbutz, the security force that followed. And these are the soldiers that came in to help and fell. And that is Dudi. Our day was not over. From there, we went to make a barbecue for heroes, one of the foremost units in Israel, called the Maglan unit. Here we are showing our gratitude to the soldiers for one of the most elite units in the entire military. They have just recently come out of Khan Yunis. Here they are, Maglan. The Maglan unit, we threw a barbecue, delicious food, and well, Michael tells, while everybody else was patronizing the Jewish store or whatever it is, Michael went in Sderot, back in Sderot earlier that day. He went into the local grocery store, he went into, I thought it was in the grocery store, he went into the liquor store, and he bought out a whole bunch of liquor. And when we arrived over there, everybody's giving these soldiers candy bars and protein bars and other things. And Michael had a different idea of what they might want. So he called over one of the soldiers, and he says, "I got something special for you." And because it's an elite unit, they probably get away with a little bit more than most of the regular soldiers do. And he says, "If I give you alcohol, can you take it?" And they're like, "Sure." So there they are, from Arak to Jägermeister to Scotch. They're going to have a good night, all thanks to Michael. We then dance with them. We were dancing even upside down. It was unbelievable to be with these true heroes. These are the toughest of the tough. Maglan is no small, Google that too. These are not little guys. These are really tough customers.
And women.
And by guys, right. Yes, there was.
Right?
But of course, you get to customize your uniform with a couple of patches. Moshiach. The real deal. Okay, well, also not out of order. Okay, that was the first full day that we had in Israel. Can you imagine? This is what the schedule was like. Day 2, we're going to move a little bit faster. Day 2, Where is Karani? Here we go. Doing a little bit of what her daughter did. One of the things that goes unnoticed is the hit to the economy. This particular farm, the Porat family, has a farm with all manner of things. One of their big harvests is strawberries. 80 farm hands. October 7th comes in and decimates their numbers. They now have 8 left. Lost 90% of their workforce. So, we become their workforce. Here he's filling us in on all the ways we have to learn how to pick strawberries. And the thing that we all learned is that we're getting gypped here in the United States. If you pick up a strawberry and it doesn't have a little bit of the stem, know that that is engineered obsolescence. Because like an umbilical cord, the stem preserves the strawberries longer. And he's telling us, don't you break off a strawberry right at the top. Leave a little bit of the stem, and so we got busy. It's hard work, because strawberries are all the way down there on the ground. And that's not easy on anybody's back. But everybody was game, and we picked, and they were delicious. And thank God there was a chiropractor as part of the group. That actually happened. There was actually a chiropractor. And we picked our strawberries, we straightened our backs, and we moved on to Tel Saki in the Golan Heights. This is day 2. This is what the Golan Heights looks like. If anybody knows the story of the of the 6-Day War, this was the hardest part, right? Because the Syrians are on top of this. Can you imagine? They're up there. The Israeli soldiers down there. They have to go up here while the Syrian soldiers are raining down artillery and gunfire. I mean, by day, yes, correct. I called day 1 the day after. Oh, whatever. One of the days. Okay. It was a blur anyways. But the Golan Heights is remarkable, truly remarkable, and unfortunately is a potential new front in this war as Lebanon is deciding whether it's going to get involved or not. Well, not Lebanon, Hezbollah. That's the Kinneret down there, up to the Golan Heights. So there's this area called Tel Saki, which was famous. If anybody, Tel Saki is in a sense Israel's Alamo. Is a story, a remarkable story, told to us by this fellow. This little pillbox. Do you see this little pillbox here in the corner with the Israeli flag? We all went into this pillbox and we heard this story about 1973, eerily similar, unfortunately, to October 7th, because it was a total surprise, the Yom Kippur War. Here are the soldiers stationed out there. Their first indication that something's wrong is when they hear voices right outside their pillbox. And they peek through it, there's tanks coming up. And Menachem, something or other, is the company commander. And he's telling us the story. It's a remarkable story of how they held out in the pitch black with the enemy right outside these walls. Enemies trying, literally throwing in grenades, then throwing the grenades back out. A remarkable story, and when it seems like the end is near, almost a la the Alamo, he tells all of them, he says, if we're going to go down, we're going down to the blaze of glory. He tells them all, pull out your grenades and pull out the pin. And when they come in, we're just dropping them. Miracle of miracles, for whatever reason, it's a long story, they don't come in. They don't come in. And they're cringing and they're waiting for hours and hours and hours holding the grenade. And if you know what happens, if you let go, boom. And after a decent amount of time, they realize something's happened. The enemy's not there. We could survive if we somehow find a way. Oh, I want to tell you, let's back up a bit. They threw it, one of the grenades that was thrown by the enemy they couldn't throw it out, exploded in this, they were shoulder to shoulder in this, exploded among them. The commander and many others were wounded, but they kept their mouths shut. One of them ended up sacrificing himself to go out and surrender, and to convince them that that's all that was left inside. And he was captured. And that was its own story. He really gave, and they didn't even know that he was alive for months. But either way, anyway, now they're holding their grenades, and what do? So they pulled the pin. So the guy says, breaks protocol and tells them to do something that you're never supposed to do. Once you pull the pin, you don't put it back. But Menachem says, very carefully, everybody put back your pin. And so they all do, except one soldier says, Commander, a problem. I dropped the pin. And it's pitch black in there. There's no finding the pin. One live grenade is a death sentence for everybody. So they don't know what to do. Except one of the soldiers is wearing a kippah and has a bobby pin. The story is a remarkable story from beginning to end. Then we go in. I love when the arm patches or something. That's the Beit HaMikdash on somebody's arm patch. This guy is riding. He was called up. He's a reservist. He's a sofer, and he's riding a pair of tefillin. And he got called up. So while he's on duty, in his time off, he's continuing writing right there in the bunker. He's writing a pair of tefillin. We give them various types of goodies. Michael's all out of alcohol, so they'll just have to make do with the chocolate bars.
We give them sweaters and.
Right. So we gave them a custom-made a bag of exactly what they would need. It's very cold up there. It's freezing up there. And we gave them specific items that would do them well up there. We got a running thing going here. We're not done for the day. We're up north. We go to Tveria. There we meet another aspect of this work, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of displaced families. Here is a hotel where the entire hotel has basically become a place for families. You have to understand what this is like. You are a family living in a house with 5, 6, 7 kids. And now you're reduced to one hotel room for 5.5 months. So we came there, we scheduled for them, and we told them, we announced that we were throwing for them a beautiful Purim party, and we gave the kids Purim costumes. And then we danced. Getting Birkat Kohanim. And just giving them a sense of human interaction and companionship. We are all one family. When we had a supper in 2 different Cafe Gregs, that's its own story. And on the way, a great cafe, we just have to remember which one we actually made the reservation. And saw this along the way, which I think everybody thought was cute.